gorgeous day, sunny and very warm. We have about 38 degrees Celsius, so I'm all sweating. But it's nice, and there's a fresh breeze here on the boat. You see the mountains surrounding the Chiemsee. It's a truly picturesque view. So I hope you enjoy until I find my person to talk to about my new book. Now arriving, see there's the other boat just getting ready to depart back to the mainland. Coming. This is an amazing island. I've never been on the Frozen Island, so I must admit. See, this guy was shouting, you can eat, you can drink coffee and have some cake. Here we come to the door hall, as it says, Michael's Chapel. Was built in 782. A very historical place. So you have a look around. This is the monastery entrance, the graveyard, and going into the monastery, into the church. And here we see the door hall. We have a brief glimpse into the doorway, through the doorway. Let's go through here. It's nice, cool and fresh. Not really fresh, but at least shady. So you protect yourself a bit from the sun, which can be unbearable at times. Taking a break in one of the little coffee shops here in the open. I was lucky actually to find someone who speaks English. Two women, one of them was from Argentina, but unfortunately they had to go when I mentioned my reason for coming. People are a bit shy around here, so I try again. Walk you around. This is the place here, and the other side of the island. I love these alleyways. They're so nice, especially over here on the island. It's lovely. It's gorgeous, but and the house is interesting architecture. Let's have a look. Signage. Today's forecast, 99.9% chance of getting a beer. It's nice. I do, I just read a bit. Beat the system without losing yourself. It's coming out today, and today is the day where you can read the book free. Go to Amazon and download you a kind of ebook to have the full experience of the entire book. But what is this all about? The system is designed to keep you small. This book shows how to rise anyway. It has several chapters. Master your mindset, train your thoughts, emotions and habits to work for you, not against you. Then another chapter, build powerful relationships, navigate people and build connections that open doors and strengthen your journey. Then we have a chapter of prepare for opportunities, develop foresight, skills and discipline so you're ready when life moves. Another chapter is protect your peace, the boundaries, manage stress and stay grounded in a chaotic world. And then finally create long-term resilience. Build unshakable mental and emotional strength that lasts a lifetime. Essentially, that's what it is all about, this guide. And we have the copyright notice and the foreword. And then we're going into the book, chapter 1, discover how to band together with your crew of mighty allies. First, the introduction, the strategic necessity of connection. Behind the endless story of two lovers described in my novel lies a harsh economic reality I have experienced firsthand. I know the pressure that mounts when the very foundation begins to wobble. We are now moving beyond the realm of adventure, storytelling, and heading straight into the trenches of everyday life. In a world where institutions often appear as impenetrable fortresses, strategic connection is not a luxury, it is a survival strategy. When authorities or banks mark you as fair game, a squad of powerful allies become your only bulwark against the arbitrary whims of the system. Anyone who believes they can weather a crisis as a lone wolf has already lost. Isolation is the greatest risk during a systemic crisis. It opens the door to powerlessness. A well-connected citizen, by contrast, does not act from a defensive position, but employs social leverage that a cold, impersonal institution cannot ignore. It is about transforming from a reactive victim into a proactive strategist. Be ready. We're now preparing for the moment when the system confronts you out of the blue. That is the introduction so far. The second part of the chapter 1 is the scenario of systematic breakdown when the hamster wheel jams. And so forth. We have number 3, tactical psychology. Keep calm as a tool of power. Force, mobilizing your troops from social media to a regional grassroots base. 5th point is with the header, defensive safeguards and documentary excellence. Then we go the goal, the victory in the courtrooms. That's interesting because so I read about this little paragraph. Everything we do serves one goal: to shift the conflict from the arbitrary whims of bank offices to the neutral arena of the courtroom. There, what counts is not a department manager's power games, but facts and demonstrable adherence to the contract. Your allies provide the backup you need here, offering moral support and, if necessary, testimony regarding your integrity. Authenticity with your troops is the fundamental prerequisite. If you are honest, they will fight for you. In that moment, you transform. You are no longer a victim of the system, but the architect of your own defense. You beat the system using its own rules. Then we have the conclusion of that first chapter, authenticity as the ultimate asset. You can put some notes underneath this chapter, and we go on to Chapter 2, learn the secret trick to get the support you need when it seems like everyone is ignoring you. And then we have subchapters, the foundation of visibility, why planning is your strongest ally. Another one, the psychology of the first person, authenticity as a door opener. So be authentic and you're well on your way to victory. In the world of balance sheets, bankers and bureaucrats paradoxically look for the human being behind the numbers. They invest not just in an idea, but primarily in the entrepreneur themselves. That is why personally identifying with your venture is your most important strategic advantage. And so on. The next subject, the anatomy of success, the strategic framework of a 28-page plan. That's an interesting paragraph, an interesting part of this second chapter. And it shows you the structure of a business plan, the one I have used in my previous ventures. Then we have the meeting with the bank, tactical maneuvering within the system, the loneliness of the door, envy, small town gossip, and the hamster wheel. again, coming to the end of that chapter, you can put your own notes. And chapter 3, master the skills to handle pressure like a pro and never let it crack you. Interesting chapter. It starts with one of the subheadings. The first one, the nature of pressure when the system strikes back. And it gives you some tips on how to tackle these issues. For example, lower your heart rate, never act while in the adrenaline-fueled panic, breathe physically, lower your stress levels before picking up the phone or typing a reply. Stay calm, accept the situation as an objective, mechanical challenge. It is not a judgment of you as a person, but a malfunction in your relationship with the system. And pause, analyze the situation before taking your first step. Reflecting enables strategy. If you strike back immediately, you only entangle yourself further in the web. So it goes on with different parts of the chapter. Strategic inbox management, time as a shield, what you should do when the tax office and the authorities write to you, processing status you open immediately, and reasoning contains strict deadlines. Ignoring them leads to automated escalation. AI bots, that's where authorities like to play around with. Document type, it could be also a lawyer approaching you, and my suggestion there is open immediately. In Germany, legal action escalates quickly here. Deadlines are critical for your defense. And then we're talking about tax advisors, accounting, general payment reminders, and debt collection letters. And letter is more to be seen as a strategic approach, important, but handled only after internal stabilization. The quality of the response matters here. Yes, we go on, and coming to the end, here are my final commandments for you. Be radically transparent. Do not hide behind your shame. State the facts as they are. Politeness is power, and no obfuscation, a word what I've not heard before, translated from my German manuscript. Those who tell the truth and need not remember their lies. Credibility is capital. Then we have another word, proactivity. Take the initiative. Do not wait for the garnishment on order to arrive. Write the letter beforehand. So that's some tips how to deal with matters like that. And this is then the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4 is uncover the tricks to tackle prejudices when people snoop into your life under the guise of authority. So that is the last chapter. Coming here with the notes and the table of content. Conclusion: become the architect of your own future. The first 5, or the only 5 rules of strategic resilience. Stay calm before you react. Build relationships before you need help. Prepare better than everyone expects. Document everything. And never surrender your integrity. This is essentially all of the book. We have then the section that transforms the book into a workbook, a 30-day strategic resilience challenge. Week 1, master yourself. Week 2, build your support network. Week 3, become professionally prepared. And week 4, think like a strategist. Then we have personal commitments. It's always important to keep to your own commitments. In my view, I have chosen preparation over panic, facts over fear, integrity over shortcuts, relationships over isolation, strategic action over emotional reaction. Everything challenge I face is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So to make it actually be of value to you, I suggested to sign it and to date it, just for yourself, to stick to the rules, to stick what you yourself determine are your own rules. This is only tips I'm giving from my own experience, from essentially the odyssey through 3 continents, and the experiences, expertise I've been gained, my family have been gained when going through these life-changing situations. We have the afterword, and that's all. That's the book. I hope you enjoyed. Even if I didn't have anybody to talk to make the podcast be a dialogue rather than a monologue. But anyway, I managed to get here. I managed to read from my book, and I hope you enjoyed listening to what I related to the book. By the way, the second book I've been writing. The first one is also available on Amazon, The Never-Ending Story of Two Lovers, which is a book about love, responsibility, and entrepreneurship. And this is the, I say it's the fundament of understanding the second book about beat the system without losing yourself, because everything I've been writing about in this second book is related to our own experiences in the past, written down in my books, The Never-Ending Story of Two Lovers. By the way, here in Germany, being published by a renowned publisher, which is the R.G. Fischer Verlag. Highly recommended if you speak German. If not, go to Amazon.com and get yourself a copy of the English version, The Never-Ending Story of Two Lovers. Talk to you later. Bye for now.